There we go. Oh, hey, look, that's my Discord. So, hello. Welcome back to the podcast, part 2, unless you're watching mine first. That wouldn't make sense. My last name's Yale. You're watching mine second. This is part 2. He's Reese.
Hi, I'm back again. Yeah.
So, what's our name this time?
I don't know. We
I forgot what
Wait,
they were.
hold on. Because we were Cosmic Conversations last time.
Oh yeah, the other one that came up was Stellar Conversations. I think we should just be Cosmic Conversations.
Yeah, we're still Cosmic Conversations.
We
You're
won't-
just hosting this episode.
We won't split the band up today.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to be talking about the different... Is it celestial bodies still? Or just solar objects? I don't know.
celestial. I don't know.
Just in our solar system. You know, planets and stuff. And moons. That's what we're talking about.
Distracting. My God.
I know. I don't know why they're here all of a sudden. Nonetheless, we shall persevere.
Mm-hmm.
We will start with Mercury. Also, our pictures are out of order, so we're going to have to search for them. It'll be funny.
I know what Mercury is.
Yeah, it's
that one. That
one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mercury, it's 0.38 times the size of Earth, 0.387 AUs from the Sun. It's the first terrestrial planet in the solar system. It's littered with craters, the biggest one being Caloris Planitia, which covers 1/3 of the planet's diameter.
Dang.
1 year is 88 Earth days. 1 day is about 58 Earth hours. The temperature ranges from negative 173 to 427 degrees Celsius. There's a thin atmosphere with trace amounts of oxygen, sodium, magnesium, and helium, and it has no moons. So I think... I'm going to take these off. I think it's a pretty cool starter.
It's a cool starter, but in terms of other planets, it's really lame.
Yeah, it's
really lame.
It's small and unimpressive.
And it has no moons.
Yeah.
I mean, it does...
It gets hot.
It does range from 100 Kelvin to what is that, 700 Kelvin?
Yeah. 6,
As,
7. Yeah.
That's really hot. But I feel like it's kind of cooler if it's really averaged out like Earth.
Yeah.
Like if it has an atmosphere.
I definitely think moons also is an indicator of how cool it is.
Yeah, it's really boring.
We're rating.
It's
I forgot to mute my phone.
That's saying it. Yeah, we're rating this off of coolness as well. So S is the coolest, D is not very cool at all. I think Mercury is a solid C.
Sorry, I have to respond to that.
Unless, are you too busy to respond to my question?
Mercury is definitely C tier.
C tier. Yeah, we'll put that there. I mean, I think it's
It's not.
It's a mid C, I'd say.
It's not incredibly boring. It's not like D tier. Let's just blow up Mercury right now.
Yeah.
But it's not mid.
But if it did blow up, that'd be fun.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Okay. Next planet, Venus. Often referred to as the sister of Earth because it's 0.95 times the size of Earth, 0.72 AUs from the Sun, the second planet from the Sun, the second terrestrial planet from the Sun, an average temperature of 465 degrees Celsius due to its extreme greenhouse gas effects. The atmosphere pressure is 92 times greater than Earth's, and 1 day is 243 Earth days, and 1 year is 225 Earth days.
The day is longer than the year.
So the day is longer than the year on Venus. Venus is covered by large volcanoes and lava plains, and the atmosphere is mostly carbon dioxide with traces of sulfuric acid, and once again, no moons. I think Venus is pretty cool.
Venus is really cool. The fact that it is the sole reason that it is so incredibly hot is because of its atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the fact that its day is longer than the year is really funny.
It's quirky like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't Doesn't
pretty
Venus
sure-
spin the opposite direction?
Isn't that one Venus? Is that Venus? No,
That's Io.
that's Io.
Venus is this one.
Okay. Why is it so orange?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, sulfuric acid, that can turn orange with, like, if you have stuff dissolved in it, right? And the atmosphere is liquid sulfuric acid, I believe.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just it's an aggressive planet.
It is so aggressive.
I think it's like a solid A.
I was gonna say the same thing. It's definitely A tier.
It's just cool.
It's way cooler than Mercury. That's for sure.
I mean, yeah, its average temperature is higher than the max on Mercury.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just...
And it has an atmosphere. And
You
Like,
call
it's-
it that.
yeah, it's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah. Pretty rad.
Although
We'd be
the fact that
be
it doesn't have
squished.
moons is really boring.
That is lame.
Yeah.
I feel like it... Yeah, no, that's...
I
it just,
I
that sucks.
like if it had a moon and it had like cool moons, it'd definitely be S tier.
Yeah.
But as it stands right now, it's A tier because it has no moons.
Yeah, so the next one is Earth. We're moving a lot faster on the
Yeah.
Earth, is pretty rad. So Earth is 1 times the size of Earth.
Unbelievable.
It's 1 AU from the sun. It's the 3rd planet in our solar system. It has the densest, or it's the densest planet in our solar system. Has a moderate temperature, liquid water, atmosphere, and biosphere. And we have a magnetic field, which shields our planet from solar winds and cosmic rays. And we have 1 moon.
It's a really cool moon too.
Yeah, it's a very cool moon.
Very cool moon. A really big moon in
Yeah.
comparison to Earth as well.
What's
Um,
like a 4? It's not a 4.
Huh?
How big is the moon? Wait,
I don't
I have it
think it's a
written
fourth.
down. I have it written down.
Is the moon big?
I think it's flat.
In comparison to other terrestrial planets and their
He's
moons,
doing
it's definitely big.
a hermitcraft meme.
Huh?
It's-
Hermitcraft joke. Is the
My
moon
podcast is
big?
being ruined by these fools.
Yeah. Yeah, we might have
It's
to.
a third of the
yeah.
size.
It's a third of the size.
Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I'd say it's a pretty good planet.
This is an incredible
Go away,
planet.
Cora. And we continue.
Yeah. It's a really cool planet.
Yeah.
Personally,
it's
it's
very
definitely an
unique.
S tier.
It definitely has.
It has life. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
I live on Earth.
Me too.
If Earth blew up, I would not be here. So, let's.
Yeah, that would suck.
That would be really really sad.
We would definitely take an L there.
Earth is probably the coolest planet. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest.
Probably
Earth is-
anywhere,
Yeah.
unless there's
just
another planet with
period.
life. Which
Also, the
there
fact that it's blue. Like bringing back
it
the
is.
stars again.
It's-
Yeah, it's blue. It's blue. It's cool.
isn't. Okay. The next planet is Mars, at about half the size of Earth, 1.52 AUs from the sun, has a thin atmosphere, mostly of CO2, argon, or in trace amounts of argon and nitrogen, and even smaller amounts of oxygen and water vapor. Iron minerals in the soil oxidize to form the red color of the planet. There's 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos, and multiple spacecrafts have been orbiting and landed on Mars. So, I think Mars is also very, very cool.
Very cool. And it has 2 moons.
Yeah,
Phobos and Deimos. Like
twice as cool.
yeah. I'd say in terms of moons cooler than Venus. Is it just cooler than Venus though? Because Venus is a super mean, aggressive planet, but Mars is just
Yeah.
kind of like
I
the
think
quirky
Mars
little
is-
brother.
It is definitely quirky. However, I think it's very cool because we're pretty close to visiting it,
Yeah, that's true.
which definitely
And-
increases the coolness because we're not going to Venus anytime soon.
No, we're not landing on Venus anytime. We're not putting any human being on Venus
No,
within the
Ever.
foreseeable future.
I don't see a reason to go there
Yeah.
other than if we wanted large amounts of sulfuric acid.
Or if we wanted to mine something on Venus, but
Yeah. So yeah, I'd say Mars is definitely like an A tier.
yeah, cooler than Venus.
Yeah,
I'd
agree.
It has better planets. I mean, like if we were thinking about like these planets as siblings, like if we are Earth, like let's just say, would you say Earth is like the eldest child? Because it's the biggest one, right? And it also has
Well,
life.
It
I
is
don't know
not
if
the
it's-
biggest one.
It is the biggest terrestrial
Okay.
planet. I'm thinking about just
Okay, these
the
4
terrestrial.
planets, yeah.
Yeah, all the gas giants. Those are cousins.
Yeah, they're a whole nother family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Earth might be the middle child, and then Mars was like the older child that just went downhill.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we do suspect there might have been at least like flowing rivers, possibly life, though that hasn't been confirmed.
Yeah. And
So
what we know about Venus is that it also Venus and Venus, Mercury, and Mars, they all used to have very similar atmospheres to Earth in terms of like magnetic field and stuff, but because they have gotten older and the fact that they are smaller means that they lost their magnetic field quicker
Yeah.
than Earth. And Venus is like also has really huge greenhouse gas effect, which is where Earth is progressing towards right now. So
yeah, good job, Jeff Bezos.
yeah, as if he's responsible for all the
Singularly
greenhouse gases.
him.
Yeah, even though like Taylor Swift is the one taking like 17 different flights a day. In her
I'm sure
private
she's
jet.
planted a tree before.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
that.
probably not. Yeah, I think Venus is definitely the youngest child who got whatever he wanted, and then Mercury, definitely the middle child that everyone forgot about.
I mean, I had a really dark thought that Mercury was like the child that died at a very young age. That's terrible. Is that terrible?
The aborted child. Why was your podcast so serious? Okay, well, we'll move on from that. Jupiter, 11.2 times the size of Earth, 5.2 AUs from the Sun, the largest planet in the solar system, the first gas giant in our solar system relative to the Sun, and Jupiter's stripes and clouds are made of ammonium and water, and there's a great red spot that has been there for 300 years, which is a raging storm.
Yeah.
Very large storm. Very old storm.
Mm-hmm. Well, in comparison to Earth, but like
Yeah.
if you say like, if you compare the red spot to Jupiter, and then compare like a hurricane on Earth to Earth, it really
It's
is
average
very
for
similar.
Jupiter.
It's very similar. Like the
Yeah.
ratio is very similar. So
I think Jupiter's pretty cool.
Jupiter is really cool. Like, and have you heard like, oh, what's that composer's name?
Oh,
Holst, right? The song.
Host?
The song Jupiter from the planets.
I have not. However, while you look up whatever you're looking up, there were 2 more facts. Jupiter has 95 moons, with one of them being Europa, which has watery oceans under an icy surface, and Jupiter is also mostly made of hydrogen and helium.
Okay, this song supports like my ranking of Jupiter a lot, but it's like I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a very cool planet.
Definitely.
I really like
It's
Jupiter.
95 times cooler than Venus in terms of moons.
Yeah,
Or Earth, rather.
Yeah,
Venus doesn't have any. So,
but it's a gas giant, so we can't like land on Jupiter.
yeah.
But it is the biggest planet.
It's definitely not my favorite gas giant, though. I think it's lacking some rings,
Yeah,
so that's definitely a negative. I do think that the storm, the Great Red Spot, definitely the highlight of Jupiter.
really.
I'd
say for me, Jupiter is probably
and its moons,
yeah.
because it does have Io, which we're going to talk about later.
Yeah. I'd say it's either low S tier or high A tier.
Yeah, I'd
It's
agree.
up there.
I think it might be like, which one's there's
That
Jupiter.
one, yeah.
Height. I think
Is
maybe
it cooler than
there.
Mars? Is it? So you're saying it's
Well,
less
no,
cool as Mars?
I think it's less cooler than both.
Why
of
is
them.
there? Okay, sorry. There was a picture of a foot on the top of the screen. That was weird.
Don't mind that.
Yeah, don't mind the ads.
I think it goes there.
You think it's less cool than Venus?
I do. I think Venus has a lot more going on. I mean, the
In terms
only
of
thing,
aggression.
yeah, the
I
only
guess, but-
whenever you hear Jupiter, the only thing you think about is the little spot on it. And
That's
then
what you think
and
about.
then you continue on to Saturn.
I think about like the beauty of like looking at Jupiter through. Like, have you seen the pictures where Jupiter is blue at the poles?
I have not.
Okay, on. Surely Mr. Brown has seen a picture of it, but
Surely.
surely. Don't call me Shirley.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's an acapella singing group too. Blue Jupiter. I'm sure they're good.
Probably. But like, look at these. Like, that's the poles of Jupiter. They're blue.
Are you sure that's just not like a
Like, it's us looking at it with different spectrums, but
yeah? So it's not really blue, because like
It's
that
not-
one's all blue.
okay.
That one's all blue too.
Yeah, this is obviously fake. But like, look at this.
Ultraviolet. No.
It's
I mean,
beautiful.
yeah, that looks cool, but that's definitely an ultraviolet photo, which I'm not looking at on our thing.
Okay, we're gonna find out for real. Jupiter's poles blue.
Deeply red.
That's Jupiter itself is colored deeply red. In
Oh,
a
deeply
band
blue at two
in a
spots.
band near its north pole, but deeply blue at 2 spots, with one near its south pole and another nicknamed the Great Blue Spot near its equator. That's odd. Okay.
Wait,
Jupiter's
Wouldn't-
magnetic. Okay,
the
that's
great blue. The great blue spot. It's the red spot.
I know. What? Okay.
I think your facts are making me want to bump this down to a B.
I'm pretty sure it was just the internet was wrong.
We'll just low A.
Low A tier. Okay.
I-
Definitely an A tier though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it any less than A
Yeah.
tier. It is a really cool planet.
Okay. Next one.
Starting
Saturn.
off very strong.
Saturn is 9.45 times the size of Earth, 9.58 AUs from the Sun. The second largest planet is a gas giant, and the rings of Saturn are comprised of ice and trace amounts of rocky materials. Saturn has 146 known satellites in orbit, and has a rocky core surrounded by a liquid hydrogen layer and a gaseous, that should say, exterior, not core.
It's all gaseous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big gas ball.
Yeah.
Saturn's cool.
It's really cool.
It has
It
rings.
has lots of rings, and I'm like, personally, like you were talking about Star Trek. When I think of Saturn, I always think of video games. Namely,
It definitely would be
Destiny.
the one to be in a.
Namely, Destiny, because like the image of the image of the dreadnought in Saturn's rings. Destiny. Whoops. Like, look at that.
Yeah. That
It's
is red.
so cool. So cool.
Yeah, I definitely
That's
think
funny.
the selling point for Saturn is the rings.
Yeah, for sure. But the thing is, Saturn is also going to lose its rings in its lifetime, which is extremely sad.
Very sad.
But as it stands, it has rings, and that is beautiful.
Yeah.
And we should
So I
celebrate
think
that.
we should celebrate that.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely the highest A.
I can see that. Yeah. And it has some really, really cool moons, too.
Yeah.
Lots of moons.
146.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say it is cooler than Jupiter for sure.
Okay.
Gosh, we were starting out very strong.
We are.
Although
we
I
started
feel
out very bad with a C.
like, I know. Every
Mercury.
Mercury. Mercury is just so bad compared to everything else.
Okay, the most controversial of planets, Uranus, at 4 times the size of Earth, 19.2 AUs from the sun. It is an ice giant, I read. Very interesting. Has 42 years of continuous sunlight, then 42 years of continuous darkness in its orbit. Just the way that it rotates compared to its orbit.
Its poles are opposite that of the sun's.
So, yeah, lots of sunlight, then lots of darkness. Methane in atmosphere, and it absorbs red color, making the planet look blue. And it has 27 known satellites, and Voyager 2 has most recently taken pictures of Uranus and its moons.
How dare you say Uranus?
I'm so sorry.
Uranus is a really cool planet.
It is. It's blue. That's the selling point.
And it's like a really bright blue. It's like a teal color.
Yeah.
It's a really, really pretty color, like a pearl.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's also on its side just sets it...
Just
like,
completely different from all
the
the
other planets.
And it has a ring.
Yeah.
Rings.
Like, just
a few.
Yeah. And they're
Definitely
sideways.
completes
It's
it.
so cool. It is very interesting.
It's the most unique planet, I'd say.
Yeah. Does that make it S tier, though? Because I think it's definitely not in C tier or D tier, and definitely not in B tier. I mean, if
Yeah.
it wasn't on its side and it wasn't unique, I would say it probably goes in B tier.
Yeah.
But I
agree
really
with
like
that.
its color.
I do think it would be S tier.
S tier, yeah.
Just right below Earth.
Yeah. Uranus is such a cool planet. And it's a very intriguing name, too.
Very intriguing.
Yeah.
Okay. On to Neptune. It is 3.88 times the size of Earth, 30 AUs from the sun, another ice giant. The methane once again reflects the blue color. It also has 42 years of light and 42 years of dark. 14 known satellites, and once again, Voyager 2 has taken up-close pictures of it and its moons. I honestly think Neptune just saw Uranus and was like, hey, he did it right. Let me try to copy him.
And
then failed.
forgot, like, the most important part, which was
Yeah.
that Uranus is sideways.
Yeah, it has a ring and is light blue.
I would say the only thing Neptune really has going for it is it's blue.
Yeah.
And that's a very cool color,
I think
especially for a planet.
low B, high C.
I was going to say put Neptune in B tier.
Yeah, because, like, if you're just going in order looking at planets, you're like, oh, Uranus, beautiful planet. And then you get to Neptune, it's like, oh.
That's the forgettable one. Like, that's
Yeah.
the one I forgot, like, in every test in second grade.
Yeah, I purposely forgot it and put Pluto instead. So, yeah, we'll put it at low B.
Yeah. I'm satisfied with that.
And now on to not planets, or asteroids and dwarf planets, starting with Pluto, which is 1.7 times the size of Earth, about 40 AUs from the sun. It is a dwarf planet, and it's the 9th largest celestial body in the orbit of the sun. New Horizons was the first mission to fly by Pluto and get close pictures to the planet and its moon, and Pluto has 5 known satellites. Also, Pluto orbits at a tilt, I guess, to all the other planets in the solar system.
Sometimes it's closer than Neptune.
Yes. And that is also partially why it is no longer a planet, because of its odd orbit.
Yeah. And the fact that it doesn't control its own orbit, too.
I like Pluto. It needs pity.
Yeah, it's got some very interesting colors in there, too.
Yeah. It's not what you expect, like, as you're moving out from like Earth, and then you're at Jupiter and Saturn, which are like orange and yellow, and then you get to blue, and then all of a sudden you're back at orange.
Yeah.
At a planet that's barely even
Orange and, like, what is that, like a little bit of green in there?
Yeah.
It's very
Or,
interesting.
No, this one.
Yeah. It's got a little bit of green at the bottom. It's interesting.
It's just not what you expect from a planet so far from the sun. Like, it's still like a desolate, frozen wasteland, but It doesn't look like one
At least
from the
we can
surface.
land on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can land on it.
It's pretty red. I think
don't know.
also just because it's like kind of like the unknown, like just we're still trying to find stuff out about it. It's a lot of a mystery
Yeah.
to the point where we're like just reclassifying it as a dwarf planet as of like what 20 or 30 years ago. I can't remember when. Yeah, I think it's like I'd say it's an A tier.
A tier.
Yeah.
Say if we do put it in A tier, it's not as cool as Jupiter.
No.
It's definitely cooler than Neptune though.
Yeah.
So I'd say between like high B tier to low A tier.
Yeah, we can do. We'll do B tier.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will dominate the B tier.
Yes. So next we have the moon, or Luna, because it's not the only moon that has ever existed.
Mm-hmm.
It is a third the size of Earth. It's Earth's only natural satellite, and Earth's gravity has the moon locked in a rotation, so we can only see one side of the moon at any given point or any given time. It is the main driver of our tides on Earth, and it has been postulated that it was formed when a Mars-sized object collided with the Earth. And the atmosphere is mostly methane, carbon monoxide, and nitrogen. Or what little atmosphere.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's.
There's not much there.
No.
I'm gonna let you take a stab at this first, because I know where
Yeah,
I'm going.
I actually really like the moon. I have always been fascinated about the moon. I'm fascinated with the moon. I've even written poems about it. Oddly enough,
It is
it's
majestic.
it is a beautiful thing in the night sky. And the thing is, like, the fact that it is so incredibly big for a
It's
moon.
iconic.
Yeah, it's just like you can't have you can't have Earth without the moon. You can't have the sun without the moon. Like,
It's just always been there. It's always been there for us.
yeah, and like it's so pretty too, and it's the only other celestial object that humans have stepped on.
Yeah, I was also gonna agree. Like, I honestly didn't think you were gonna give it so much praise.
I love the moon.
But
Dude.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, it definitely has the coolest origin story that we know of. Like,
Yeah.
just a Mars-sized object, just boom, and then we have a moon.
Yeah. And like that's also why we think it's why it's going away from us, and that's another thing that we use as evidence for that theory.
Yeah, and the similar compositions to Earth.
I just noticed
So-
the cord going all the way over there.
Yes,
It's
gotta
funny.
have Ethernet somehow. Let's see. I think it's an A or S. Sorry.
Definitely an S tier.
I think it's above Uranus,
Yeah.
just right below Earth.
You cannot. That's not the moon.
Like, these belong together.
That is not the moon. That is the
No
moon.
way. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, you cannot separate the Earth and the moon. Like, it's bread and butter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about all.
Yeah. I
All it is for that.
really like the moon.
Okay, next up we have Titan, which is about half the size of Earth. It's the largest moon of Saturn and the second largest moon in the solar system. It has a dense atmosphere and only other known object in space to contain evidence of stable bodies of surface liquid water. It has a rocky core surrounded by icy and ammonium-rich water, atmosphere of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide, and a space mission that I'm going to butcher, Cassini-Huygens.
Beats me.
It flew by in 2004. It helped us to determine and understand Titan's surface and find liquid hydrocarbon lakes at the poles. I think Titan's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, like, it was interesting to me when I was in the 4th grade, but now I'm, like, less so interested about Titan.
Yeah, me too. It is interesting that it has water.
Yeah, because it used to be like, oh my god, we might be able to live on Titan, and then, later on you learn that Titan is just, like, if you even
It'd be
stand
more of
on
a
Titan,
gas station.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, gas station, yeah, not even like a good gas station. Like this is just some random 7-Eleven that you drive by in an emergency because it's the
not
only
even a
thing.
Buc-ee's.
It's like the only stop in the next 20 miles.
Yeah, they got their prices are hiked up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a cool moon.
In terms of moons, yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
So out of what we have, I'd say it's probably like a
Is
low
it
B.
I don't know. I don't think it's low B. I think
Maybe
it's in
like-
C tier.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I could see that. What's that other one we haven't seen?
Mercury. Yeah. Is it cooler than Mercury though? It's a cooler. I don't know. I feel like
I think it might be cooler than Mercury.
yeah.
Because Mercury, there's, like we said, there's not much going on there. At least
No.
there's evidence of hydrocarbons.
I mean, Mercury is just straight up dead planet.
Yeah. So we'll do above Mercury.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. That one's Io. This one's
Yeah,
Titan.
that's tight.
Okay. Next up, actually, we're gonna skip down to Io. Io is 0.29 times the size of Earth, the second smallest of Jupiter's moons, most volcanically active object in the solar system. It has around about 400 volcanoes, all active, and the atmosphere is mostly sulfur dioxide. The crust is mostly comprised of silicate and a core of molten iron and iron sulfide, and it was discovered by Galileo. I think Io is pretty cool.
It's all right.
Like,
It's a neat color.
it's kind of like was Mercury the one with volcanoes?
No, Venus.
No, Venus.
Yeah.
It's just a mini Venus, I'd say.
Yeah, it's very much trying to be Venus. I mean, when I think of Io, the only thing interesting I can think of is video games again.
Yeah, me too.
So,
Are you talking like a space game? I was thinking like
I'm thinking
Slither.io.
Destiny again. Oh, Io. No, I'm thinking about video game.
Okay.
Like Destiny.
I was just
Again.
thinking of the .io games. Completely different.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with space.
It's. I mean, without that, it's kind of boring.
It looks like a moldy planet.
It does. Yeah.
So
Like the mold in your bathroom.
I think I'd be fine with giving this a D.
But
Maybe
yeah.
even low C.
Yeah.
I think D is more fitting though.
Yeah. We need something to fill the D.
I mean
tier.
that looks like what you get the cheese touch from.
Yeah.
So, it's a
The
dirty
cheese
planet.
that's sat on the asphalt for 20 years.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
stinks. Smells super bad.
smells silly. It has an iron core. Lame. We did that better.
Ours is better.
Okay, now we're gonna go on to Ceres, which is in the asteroid belt. It is 0.08 times the size of Earth. Times the size of Earth. It was the first discovered asteroid. It's composed of ice and rocky material. It comprises 25% of the mass of the asteroid
That's
belt.
crazy.
Yeah, I really thought there'd be like a lot less in one spot.
I know.
It was visited by NASA's Dawn mission, which discovered water, icy. I said that wrong. Water, ice, and hydrated minerals such as carbonates and clay. And scientists are interested in looking for signs of life on this asteroid due to the said water, and how we believe that asteroids brought certain life-bringing materials to Earth. So I think Ceres is pretty rad.
No,
Really?
it's boring. I mean, it's not as cool as Pluto. Like, Pluto definitely takes a cake with dwarf planets.
Yeah.
It's not even like an interesting color. It's just gray.
That is true. I also only learned about it when researching things
Yeah.
to put in this. I didn't know there was another dwarf planet.
There are. I'm pretty sure there are several dwarf planets.
Yeah.
But like the only ones that I know of are Pluto and Ceres.
Yeah. It's definitely a forgettable one. I think its redeeming quality is the fact that it possibly has the life components.
Yeah,
needed.
possibly. I doubt it though. I
Yeah.
seriously doubt it. But if it did, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. So I think let's give it the opportunity that we gave Beetlejuice. It has those components.
Yeah, if it did have life on it, that
Low
would
B.
be interesting. Yeah.
Okay. So that one. can go.
But that's only if it did have life. If
Yeah.
it
Otherwise,
didn't-
it's like right above the moldy cheese.
yeah.
Okay. Next, we have the asteroid belt, which is in between Mars and Jupiter. It's about 1 AU wide from like the Mars side to the Jupiter side, if that makes sense. It ranges from 2.2 to 3.2 AUs from the Sun. Has the total mass of all the asteroids equals about 4% of the Earth's moon. It's not even Earth. Ceres is the largest object in the asteroid belt and is considered a dwarf planet, and NASA's dawn mission flew an unnamed spacecraft to Vesta and Ceres. So,
How dare they not name the spacecraft? That's unbelievable. I'm so
I think-
mad at them for that. Why?
I
Like
think
why
it was
not?
named Dawn. Maybe?
But your notes say
Well,
flew an
done.
unmanned.
yeah.
I thought that said unnamed. Okay, my bad. That's
Just diss the asteroid belt. No, it was definitely unmanned. There's
Unmanned.
no humans on Ceres. Can confirm.
yeah.
I
haven't
think
seen
the
it.
asteroid belt's. I thought it was a lot more cool in like first grade, because it seemed like there was just a barrier of rock in between the outer planets.
Yeah.
And now it's like,
Like if you just
Most-
flew in one line from Mars to Jupiter, you were going to hit an
Yeah.
asteroid. But
Yeah.
like that's not even probable.
but like, after learning that 25% of it is in one place, it's like, come on.
In like a pretty boring dwarf planet too.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely not that cool
No.
anymore. I'd say like low B, maybe C, medium C.
I can see that. Yeah. Are we putting it? No, it's below Mercury. It's not as cool as Mercury.
Yeah. Let's see. What is
Low C tier.
That's up
That's Mercury.
Mercury, right? Glad you remember these. Yeah, it's definitely.
Wait, is that the asteroid belt, or
Yeah,
is
this
that?
is the asteroid belt.
Okay.
That's the Kuiper
okay,
belt.
okay. I can see it now.
Yeah, I think there's just not much going on in Mercury.
No.
However, there's even less going on in between the rocks of the asteroid belt. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Mm,
And
not
finally,
interesting.
on to the Kuiper Belt, which begins at Neptune's orbit about 30 AUs from the Sun, and the main part of the Kuiper Belt is about 50 AUs from the Sun, and the scattered disk section extends over 1,000 AUs from the Sun. Scientists have cataloged over 200 Kuiper Belt objects, and they theorize that there are thousands more Kuiper Belt objects with diameters of 60 miles or more. I think the Kuiper Belt's pretty cool.
I mean, in terms of like the unknown, this is where it starts. The
Yeah.
Kuiper belt is where it starts.
Yeah. And just the size that, like the scattered disk section, is 1,000 AUs
Yeah.
wide.
Huge, like ginormous.
Yeah.
So
Definitely
much-
the largest thing in the solar system.
Yeah, if you can even consider that, like, I don't know. Whenever I think of the solar system, I always think of like Pluto's the end of it, but I always
Yeah.
forget that the Kuiper belt just goes on for so
On
long,
and on.
so long.
Though, knowing that it's probably mostly air.
Yeah.
Or, well, not air. It's nothing.
The fact that it's unknown, that we don't know anything about it,
I think that's
that's
like
the most interesting part.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And Kuiper sounds super cool too.
It does.
That's a cool name.
I always misspell it. I always put KY instead of KUI.
Yeah.
I'd say like low A or like high B-ish, just for the unknown's sake.
I was gonna put it low B tier. Probably above Ceres.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. Oop, right there.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Yeah.
So that is the end of part 2 of the
I was
podcast.
so lonely. Oh my gosh.
Well, just don't get the cheese touch. Then you can join your friends.
We're saving all the other celestial objects from the cheese touch.
Maybe we should move them all up by one so there's a space in between.
Make a new tier called the IO tier.
So yeah, thank you for joining us, Dr. Brown.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure talking to you, and we will see you in class.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Bye-bye.